just want to throw a little spotlight onto the audience and critical reaction to all of the Monsterverse movies, because it is some of the most baffling shit ever.
It's like people just make things up. Like they invent problems.
Let me just run through the timeline here. 2014, there's not enough Godzilla.
Right.
The next Godzilla movie, there's too much Godzilla. And not enough character stuff, which is just insane to me, because the character stuff in King of the Monsters is like...
Well, I heard both.
You can follow
I feel like people also said that they hated the character stuff and there was too much of it.
Yeah, that one's inconsistent, because 50% of the reviews are like, why are there still people in this? And the other half are like, why did it just be monster fight whole time?
It's just this conflicting thing. It's just... humans, monsters, blah, blah, blah. They speak... It's these black and white terms that is so damaging to... as a way to look at a movie, you know? It's not... It's so much more about the interaction of those two elements, and if they each have their own benefits to the story and everything, but it's just... It seems that a lot of people's criticisms... boil down to screen time between the characters. And I feel like, honestly, with the King of the Monster stuff, I feel like it used to be that there's too many monsters, but now that this movie is out, people are talking that there's too much human stuff in that movie. So stuff is changing over time. It's morphing.
Yeah.
And morphing to its opposites. It's going between extremes at a rapid pace, like I've never seen before.
Well, yeah, no, now this one, people are either positively or negatively being like, oh, it's all monster, except for like two people who are like, oh, there's only a little bit of monster in the first 30 minutes. It's like, yeah.
That's how every monster movie ever has.
Yeah, if you've watched anything in your life, but everybody else, it seems to just be like either positively or negatively on this one is like, oh, the movie is all monster fight, like
and that's not even true.
No, it's not true.
But like
it's a lot of
the amount of monster fight in. I believe the average for all Godzilla movies prior to American movies, 10 to 15 minutes of Godzilla screen time.
Yeah.
And this has about like 20.
It could be more.
I watched through all of the fights scenes before I got to this, and I was able to do that within about 25 minutes. So we'll say 25 minutes of screen time for monsters.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's...
That's appropriate. It's a quarter of the movie, you know, that's...
Well, almost everything, you know, and it's not like it's just people talking in rooms. Outside of that, it's like, oh, here's set pieces and Hollow Earth and weird sci-fi tech and, you know, the movie has a lot of stuff. And yeah, I never felt wanting for monster content in it at all. I mean, the only one of this franchise I've really felt wanting was the Gareth Edwards movie.
Like you said, Evan, people just lie and say some things, you know? Like, the King of the Monsters thing is like, I can't see anything. It's like, did you try to see anything?
Have you gotten your eyes checked? Do you need contact lenses? Maybe glasses? Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't have any trouble seeing what's happening in that movie. Like, I've seen so many other things that were much darker. And if you know,
like 2014's Godzilla,
I haven't seen that, but yeah, from what you guys are saying, that one's color graded extremely. It's just very dark.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like people just invent reasons to be butthurt about the movie when it's like, why can't you just turn your brain off and enjoy some absurd monster fights?
One of the most obnoxious things about it is that people will make up criticisms or say weird shit that doesn't make any fucking sense or implies they've never seen a movie before. And then if you're like, oh, that's like inaccurate, they're like, oh, it's just a stupid monster movie, bro. Fucking
they want it both ways.
Yeah, it has to fill everything they want from it exactly in terms of just second by second character screen time, but then also just a stupid movie, bro.
You can't win because I mean it's the opposite side of Marvel movies because say like you said, Evan, just turn your brain off, and I think that's completely fair for certain movies, but like
I'm not trying to say
that's a common
I'm not
that's just a common defense of Marvel movies when a lot of those movies are just dog shit and there's no excuse for those. But these legitimately, it's like they hit everything that you could possibly want out of this genre. And if you know anything about the genre, just have seen like one movie. I don't know.
I haven't seen a lot, man. But I
Does it matter what other people think if you enjoy the movie? No, not really. But you're constantly surrounded by it. There's no way to completely remove yourself from it. That's asinine.
You can't just tune
This
it
is just
out.
the most frustrated I've ever been about it, just because it's like I feel like it's affecting the movies going forward.
Yeah,
and it's like,
well, it put
It
King
did.
of the Monsters.
It clearly did. Yeah.
It put the whole series on life support.
Yeah.
Like they were going to be like, this is the last movie, but now that this is making money, it might be okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's main thing with the Edwards movie is that there wasn't enough monster, and then they put a lot of monster, and then it was just, there's too much monster.
And then, and King of the Monsters is like, I can't see anything. And then they overcorrected, where this movie has nothing in front of the monsters.
At any time.
Yeah.
And so you see just all CG.
Oh, it's weird.
The CG rendering in this movie is kind of noticeably the worst out of all of them, because it's lacking the atmosphere that is in King of the Monsters and to a lesser degree,
I think
Kong Skull Island.
Sort of mentioned that, where it's like those snow and rain and smoke assets help to sort of mask the CGI and make it, or at least make it blend more into the environment.
They're so smooth in this movie. I mean, it's like the Avengers movies. They're just so smooth. And it doesn't look terrible, but it's like a lot more noticeable as a result of the negative opinions. So it's just been a constant debilitating thing in these movies, is that they are a slave to these people that don't seem to know what they want.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're never happy.
No, yeah.
It doesn't matter what they get. They will always give it a thumbs down.
The same people that are like, every Marvel movie's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey, this is 90% Rotten Tomatoes, fresh, certified fresh.
Yes, the critics are right on this. I think that they're just happy that movies are back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And it's like, critics, while they can be, of course, overlap on the Venn diagram with internet contrarians, contrarians are not the same group of people. Like, people on Letterboxd are way worse about this stuff than film critics. Like, yes, there was a weird everybody lost their minds about King of the Monsters in a negative way, but...
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, except general audiences who liked it fine. But, by all normal metrics, liked it pretty well. But the thing is, the reception to it, because of online discourse and all that stuff, became pretty negative, and it caused it to drop week to week pretty hard in the box office until it just kind of died. Well, this there's a system, an organization that they poll people. The movie's called Cinema Score. And the cinema score for Kong and Godzilla King of the Monsters were both B+, which is pretty good. But the cinema score for this is A. General audiences are eating this shit the fuck up. They loved what this was offering. And the thing is, it's probably my least favorite of the three.
Yeah, I agree with that, because there's a lot, like, the Marvelization and all the weird stuff is, like, they're all detriments. I still really like the movie. Yeah. So that just makes every single, contrarian David Ehrlich review just even more obnoxious this time around, because it's like, not only are you being obnoxious, you're going against the grain, and everyone else seems to be enjoying it. I don't know. This is just all kind of speaks to the modern way of how we interact with the movies that are put out. And I mean, that's part of Scorsese's whole cinema being devalued thing.
It's almost like Letterboxd adopted a toxic Tumblr-esque environment.
Maybe you should stay tuned for an upcoming bonus episode where we just talk about this kind of shit for a while.
Yeah, and how it's actually somehow gotten worse.
It doesn't promote, like, constructive discourse.
Yeah.
And instead is just an eyesore.
On that note, this has been another successful bonus episode of the Bargain Binge podcast. And while we may have left you in a pit of despair with that end segment there, we promise you...
Don't look at Letterboxd reviews.
Yes. Don't look at Letterboxd reviews. That's our positive end to the episode.
The positive thing we can go on here is that people really liked this movie. It's performing well, and it should lead to a continuation of this universe by Warner Brothers, Legendary, and all the rest.
And I will be there opening night every single time. I can guarantee you that. IMAX, a whole 9 yards.
Fuck yes.